Manchester United versus Arsenal, Chelsea versus Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest versus Brentford, League One Sunday fixtures, Laliga Sunday fixtures. Get all of these updates in this video detailedly, and if this is the first time you are coming across my YouTube channel, I will appreciate if you can just be patient, watch the video till the end and tell me what you think about my own analysis for this Sunday's fixtures. Now let me start with the English Premier League Sunday's fixtures. Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. Remember, the Premier League started this Friday, and the first game of the day was that of Liverpool against Bournemouth, where Liverpool won the game 4-2, and other games were played this Saturday. Manchester City played a game yesterday against Wolverhampton. Manchester City won that game 4-0. Tottenham played their own game and they also won the game. Sunderland played their own game against West Ham, won the game, and the other Fulham against Brighton ended 1-1. So when you take a look at the Premier League table, right, when you take a look at the Premier League table before today's fixtures, you discover that Manchester City is at the top of the table with 3 points, followed by Sunderland with 3 points, Tottenham 3 points, Liverpool 3 points. So just 4 clubs at this point in time are having 3 points. And when you take a look at Sunday's fixtures, which is today, you discover that Chelsea is going to be playing against Crystal Palace. And when you take a look at this game, you discover also that the game is going to be very important for Enzo Maresca, because the Premier League is not a league to play with. The Premier League is a league that if you are dreaming of winning the title, you have to start from the very first day. When you take a look at Chelsea's last 5 games, you discover that Chelsea had 4 victories in the last 5 games, one defeat in their last 5 games. And when you take a look at Crystal Palace, you discover that Crystal Palace had 2 wins, 1 draw, and 2 defeats also in their last 5 games. When you go head to head between Crystal Palace and Chelsea, you discover that Chelsea won Crystal Palace 3 good times the last 5 times they met, and they shared points 2 good times. So Crystal Palace have not won a single game against Chelsea the last 5 times they met. And now when you take a look also at this game of Manchester United against Arsenal, right, I'm still going to go back to Chelsea. When you take a look at this game between Manchester United and Arsenal, you discover that it is actually going to be the match of this week 1. When we all heard about the return of the English Premier League, all of us were desperately waiting for this game between Manchester United and Arsenal. You get the point. So when you take a look at the last 5 games of Manchester United, you discover that they had 3 victories in the last 5 games, 2 draws, so 0 defeats for Manchester United in the last 5 games. I think they did not lose a single game in their preseason back there in the USA, even back in England where they played a game against Fiorentina. So they are still to lose a single game. For a reason, their last 5 games, they have had 3 victories, 3 draws in the last 5 games. When you take a look at the last 5 games of Arsenal, you discover that Arsenal had 2 victories in the last 5 games. They defeated, lost a game to Tottenham. They lost a game to Atletico Bilbao. So 2 victories for Arsenal, 3 defeats in the last 5 games. When you go at the level of head to head, Manchester United versus Arsenal, Arsenal versus Manchester United, in the last 5 games that they met, you discover that Arsenal won Manchester United 3 good times the last 5 times they met, and they shared points twice. So Manchester United have not had a single victory against Arsenal the last 5 times they met. Now there is also another game of Nottingham Forest versus Brentford. I still remember I made a video. I posted the video all over my social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I think I did not post that video on YouTube because it was simply a short video predicting the Premier League season 2025-2026. And in that video I said I am scared. When I look at Brentford, I feel like they can be relegated this season. Why? Because they have lost their best player, they have lost their best coach. They lost Thomas Frank to Tottenham, and they lost Brian Bomo to Manchester United. Johan Wissa might also be leaving the club, so it is not confirmed yet, but we are just getting rumors that the guy might end up leaving the club. Now let me take you guys back to the game of Chelsea. When you take a look at this game of Chelsea against Crystal Palace, like I said I was going to come back. When you take a look at this game of Chelsea against Crystal Palace, it is a game must win, and the question is, what formation and tactics is Enzo Maresca going to use in this game? What formation are you expecting to see from Enzo Maresca? Because if you ask me, now that Colwill is out because of injury, he's having ACL, and also Tosin is also out with an injury. So how is Enzo Maresca going to play with his defense? We know that Robert Sanchez is going to be used as a goalkeeper, yes. Now Reece James can be used as a right back or a midfielder. Which of this position is Enzo Maresca going to give Reece James against Crystal Palace today afternoon. We go at the level of the central back now. Chalobah is available for this game. Which other central for? I don't think Fofana is available for this game. So the thing is somehow a type. And then Cucurella is going to be used as a left back. We normally know he's the left back that is always there. When you go to the level of the midfield, there are so many midfielders. There's Caicedo, there's Enzo Fernandez, there is Andre Santos, there is Lavia, there is Isugu. So all of these guys, Enzo Maresca is going to make the choice from these players that I've just listed. And if you are watching this video, what formation and what tactics are you expecting to see from Enzo Maresca? Because when you go to the level of the attack, there is already Cole Palmer. He's already a sure starter. Then this game today, we are getting rumors that Jamie Gittens, that was signed from Borussia Dortmund, is going to start this game. There is also Estevao William. He might also start this game. João Pedro is the man of the team alongside Cole Palmer. So I believe if Enzo Maresca wants to win the first game of the season, he needs to play with a formation to win. And that formation that can win a game for him is a formation made up of João Pedro, Cole Palmer, and maybe William Estevao. Guys, what formation are you expecting to see from Enzo Maresca, and what are your predictions for this game between Chelsea and Crystal Palace? There's also this game of Manchester United versus Arsenal. Now, they asked Ruben Amorim if Benjamin Sesko is ready to play the game. The guy said yes, Benjamin Sesko is ready to play the game against Arsenal on Sunday. I think that was the day before yesterday. That was on Friday. The guy said yes, Benjamin Sesko is ready for the game against Arsenal. But for now, we don't know if Benjamin Sesko is going to start the game against Arsenal. But when you take a look at this Manchester United squad, you discover that they are going to play the game since he normally uses his formation 3-4-3. Now he's going to play with Leny Yoro. I think Leny Yoro, Maguire, and maybe Matty Delight. I think this is the formation he's going to use. Or Mazraoui. For now, I don't know, since since Ruben Amorim is changing his formations game after game. When you go to the level of the midfield, you discover that Amad Diallo is going to carry out the role of a fullback, right? And then on the other side, we have this guy. There is also this guy. How do they even call it? There is also a left back that is signed. I forgot his name. Sorry, I'm sorry, I forgot his name. Then Bruno Fernandes at the level of the midfield, and maybe Mason Mount or Kobe Mino. When you go to the level of the attack, now you have Brian Bomo, Matheus Cunha, and maybe Benjamin Sesko going to accompany them, or Rasmus Højlund. But for now, let us just wait and see what happens in the next day. Hey guys, if you are watching the video, right, what are your predictions for these Premier League games of today? Chelsea versus Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest versus Brentford, and Manchester United versus Arsenal. What will keep the Premier League aside and take a look at La Liga, right? You discover that Sunday's fixtures is going to be made up of Celta Vigo against Getafe, Atletico de Madrid against Espanyol against Atletico de Madrid, and Athletic Club, that's Atletico Bilbao, against Sevilla. Before this Sunday's fixtures, Barcelona played yesterday, and in that their game, they won the game 3-0. Lamine Yamal scored, Ferran Torres scored, and Rafinha scored. So Barcelona is at the top of the La Liga table after match day 1. So those some games are still to be played. Real Madrid is going to play their own game instead on Tuesday against Osasuna, right? When you take a look at this La Liga this season, discover that it is going to be very, very interesting. Though at the same time, clubs are having difficulties registering players in La Liga. Now, when you take a look at this Sunday's fixture, the first game of the day will be that of Celta Vigo against Getafe, which is actually going to be somehow difficult. It is when you see a game between these two type of clubs, these bottom clubs. The reason why I call bottom clubs is because they are always at the end of the table. They are always at the bottom of the table. So that's the main reason why I call them bottom club. You hardly see them fighting for a European spot. All they fight for is to maintain their club in the league, right? It is difficult. Games are always difficult between these two clubs. A game of Celta Vigo, when you see Celta Vigo, they are always playing block football, and Getafe on the other side is also playing block football. So there is no team that is going to threaten the other. The game is somehow going to be balanced. Now, when you take a look at this game between Atletico Bilbao and against Sevilla, you discover that Sevilla might be playing a block game, but Atletico Bilbao will always threaten them to score. Atletico Bilbao of Nico Williams is somehow different, because Nico Williams is a player with a lot of pace, a lot of speed, so he will always try to break through. It is going to be a difficult game for both of them, since it is actually the first game of the season, and many of these players have been out for, I think, 82 days, 82 to 86 days. They have not played a competition game. Remember, Atletico Bilbao do not participate in the Club World Cup. Sevilla did not also participate in the Club World Cup, so they have been out for close to 82 to 86 days without a competitive game, and this game today is actually going to be the first game. That's the main reason why I said it is somehow going to be difficult for them. And also, when you take a look at the final La Liga game of the day, is that of Espanyol against Atletico de Madrid. Espanyol is going to be playing this game without the #1 goalkeeper of last season because he signed for Barcelona. I'm talking about Joan Garcia. Joan Garcia was the #1 goalkeeper for Espanyol last season, and currently he is playing with Barcelona. Now, when you take a look at Atletico de Madrid's squad, they have signed a lot of players this summer. I think Atletico de Madrid have signed close to 9 players already this summer. How is Diego Simeone going to play this game? How is Simeone going to play this game against Espanyol? How is he going to use a formation that can grab him the first 3 points of the season? You know, when you take a look at La Liga, when you talk about Barcelona, Real Madrid, the next club that comes is Atletico de Madrid, and they have to show an example. They have to show something that will make people to be convinced that they can battle for the La Liga title. So, like I said, it is going to be a difficult game. The first game of every season, the first games are always difficult. That's match week 1, always difficult. So 3 La Liga games to be played today: Celta Vigo against Getafe, Atletico Bilbao against Sevilla, Espanyol against Atletico de Madrid. Guys, if you have watched the video right up to this point, what are your predictions for these La Liga games that I have just listed, and who do you think is going to win the La Liga title this year? Because at this point in time, it is very, very difficult, though it is still match day 1, but from the look of things, who do you think can be considered favorite to win the La Liga title this year? Now, let us go to Ligue 1, which is actually going to be where we are going to end this video, right? When you go to Ligue 1, you discover that 5 games are going to be played today. The European champions Paris Saint-Germain are going to be playing today against Nantes, which is actually going to be the final game of the day for them. But let me start with the first game. The first game of the day will be played at 2 p.m. Brest versus Lille. The second game will be that of Angers versus Paris FC. The third game will be Auxerre versus Lorient. There is Metz versus Strasbourg, and Nantes versus PSG. Now, let me take you guys back to Ligue 1. When you take a look at Ligue 1 in general, yesterday was Saturday. Monaco played a game yesterday, they won the game. Lyon also played a game yesterday, they won the game. Then on Friday, that was the first game of the season, was the game of Reims against Marseille. Reims played that game for close to 60 minutes with just 10 players because one of their players was sent off during the first 45 minutes of the game. They played the game for 60 minutes with just 10 men, and the last second of the game, they scored a goal and won Marseille. So 10 men Reims won Marseille on the very first day of Ligue 1. So they're still at the top of the table, right, with 3 points. And when you take a look at the games that are going to be played today, so it's got that 5 games are going to take place today. The first one is that of Brest against Lille. Lille sold their best goalkeeper, Lucas Chevalier, to PSG, and their best striker, their best player in the past 5 years, Jonathan David, left the club as a free agent to join Juventus. So he is not with them again any longer. Like I said, it is going to be a difficult game for them. And when you take a look at Brest, you take a look back at last season UEFA Champions League, discover that this was one of the biggest clubs at the level of the UEFA Champions League group stages. First phase, let me not say group stage because of not group, first phase, because they went close to 6 games unbeaten at the level of the UEFA Champions League last season. So it is going to be a tough game for both Brest and Lille. When you take a look at this game between Angers and Paris FC, this Paris FC was just recently promoted back to Ligue 1, so the game is somehow going to be balanced between the two of them. Auxerre versus Lorient, it is going to be balanced. All of them are playing block football. There is Metz versus Strasbourg. One thing I know about this Strasbourg is that they have so many players that are very talented, young Brazilian players. Some even were loaned from Chelsea to Strasbourg, and these guys are going to cause a lot of trouble to Metz. And now when you take a look at the game of Nantes against PSG, right, which is actually the final league game, the final Ligue 1 game of the day, it is going to be an easy win for PSG. It is very simple. This game between Nantes and PSG is going to be an easy win for them. Should I explain? It is going to be an easy win for them. And if you want me to explain, just ask me down in the comment section. HT, what do you mean by the game between Nantes and PSG is going to be an easy win for PSG? And then I'm going to come and explain to you guys down in the comment section. Guys, If you have watched the video right up to this point, I really appreciate. I'm just from starting. As you can see, I'm just from starting. Even speaking, I have difficulties, right? I'm still panicking like at the shake. So with time, I'm going to get adapted to this, and I will appreciate if you can tell me down in the comment section if there was a place within this video where I made a mistake. You can help me just correct it, so during my next video you are going to enjoy it. And also I will also appreciate if you can hit a thumb up to this video. At least you drop something down in the comment section so the algorithm can know that someone have watched the video. And also you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and most importantly you turn on the notification bell, so when next I post videos that are similar to the one, you will just be notified and you'll be one of the first people to see it. And most importantly as well, you share the video to 2 to 3 persons. What I have decided this season is that I'm going to be posting video like today is Sunday, right? I'll always post a video either in the morning that games are going to be played in the afternoon, or I post the games are going to be played on Sunday, I post them on Friday or on Saturday evening. That is, today is Sunday. If there were games that were to be played tomorrow Monday, I post the games today afternoon. Then so my YouTube fans, should I say my YouTube family, yes, let me use the word family, so my YouTube family can always enjoy my analysis. Like I said guys, I am pleading, I am still learning, and I love to be taught. So help me and teach me down in the comment section, and see you guys until my next video.